Whoa! Oh no! What happened there? Okay, here we are, orbiting Kerbal. We have our two ships, Orbital 2 with Jeb on board, and Christopher 5 with a bunch of new Kerbals who I can't remember their name. We'll see in a second. And there's our destination, the Mun. So it took us a while to get here, but here we are, and boy, I could have done better. Next time I'll do better, I promise. That was not a great launch. Not a lot of fuel left. Beautiful view though. So, where do we want to be to launch to the Mun? All the way around. Interestingly, instead of circularizing the orbit, I probably could have just launched. Might have been more efficient actually. So we just need to get ourselves prograde, wait for the moon to rise. The classic method of getting to the moon. I was talking on the forums earlier today actually just about the old ways of doing things. There it is right there too. Good timing. There's that stage. Before there was the conic sections that showed you where you were headed and such. You used to wait for the moon to rise, shoot until your apoapsis. Well, I guess before they showed you that you'd intersect with things. You'd shoot for 12,500,000 meters or so, and that would end up taking you out and around the moon, just like the Apollo program did, kind of around the front side and then loop around back. And then you'd be back in Kerbin's sphere of influence, and actually you'd easily fall back. So it was a great hands-off approach to do the moon launch. And you can still do that actually. The only issue is, I guess, that with the conic sections it shows you where you've intersected the moon, so it's easier really. So we need to keep these on board because these are our lander legs too. So hopefully we get there with some fuel to spare. Tons of fuel on this thing, of course. If we have to, we'll land on the bell of that engine. Starting to go now. Remember, I have the fuel bug fixed too, so this throttling down isn't cheating. Okay, well there's our first interception. We can obviously do better than that. That's pretty good. So now, this is actually interesting. I'm using the moon as a gravity slingshot. I'm coming up around the back side of it and zinging by on the close side, which will, if this was true physics, I would take a little bit of energy from the moon, and if it wasn't on rails, that is, and it would, but it would be a lot of energy to me, and it would, which they are simulating here, and it's going to fling me off into, I believe, the orbit around the sun, right? A Kerbal escape, so not that much velocity really, and that's Kerbal escape with the help of the moon. If it wasn't for the moon, I wouldn't be escaping. So Jedski, Patry, and Corbin. I like that name, Corbin. And we have about 412.4 liters of fuel left. That should at least be enough to stop us in orbit and maybe do a bit of a descent. We might run out part way. This engine should be enough with all the extra weight. I won't have to jettison everything to get us landed, but then when I take off I can just jettison everything and it'll be a much more efficient takeoff. So let's head to the moon. One thing you might have noticed is that my conic sections might be a little bit different than yours. I've gone into the config file and I'm using conic section 3, which, boy, at this point it shows some interesting things. I think it actually shows me potentially interacting with Minmus? That is a funky... I think what's happening here is that I'm going to head out on a slightly lower orbit, but then maybe I'll be slowing down and Kerbin's going to catch up with me somehow, and at some point, and then I'm going to end up coming back in interacting with Minmus? I'm not entirely sure. Honestly, it doesn't matter because I'm not doing that anyway. I'm going to be coming in and landing on the moon. There it is, our first good close look. Let me just get down to close to periapsis. See, we're very close now. Shoot, just even passed by our target. I don't know if you'll be able to see it shimmering away there, but that is our target. Enough looking at that, though. I need to think about getting onto the ground. Not onto the ground, sorry. I need to circularize my orbit. I've got to kill a lot of that, 760 meters per second. May run out of fuel in this. Oh, one other good piece of news: I did get greater than 15-minute uploads now, so I'm not paying any attention to the time. Who cares if this is more than 15 minutes? Whoops. Oh, should have been paying attention. That sucks. Don't have to bring it back up that much, but I should have been paying a little bit more attention. There, that was a little bit of extra fuel anyway. 10K is enough. And then where do we want to be? Oh, we're right in line with it. Perfect. Hi, Christopher. Hey, bud. That's the cat that this ship is named after, in fact. Big fat kitty. Well, so I am going to wait, I guess, until I'm about, oh, I don't know, somewhere around this crater, and then I will, of course that's going to rotate a little bit, but I will try to land. fun when you're traveling this low. If it wasn't for slight frame delays and a bit of lag from fraps. And I just wanted to bring it back in at that point. It's also pretty with the sun just lighting up the edges of the craters. They've done such a good job on the lighting and the landscaping of this. And someday I'd like to go check out that trench too. That looks pretty cool. Let me land in the bottom of that. Oh, curb and rise. Better believe that's a screenshot. Use up a little bit more of the fuel. Let's see, is there any theory I can talk about here of what I'm doing? So I have my target. It's right around here somewhere. So I'm really, really well lined up already. I can fix, visually, I guess, it might be a little bit this way. And I'll fix that as I come in a little bit. It'll be a little bit more efficient to fix it now, but, I don't know exactly where I'm headed. So the theory is, of course, I'm coming a little lower than I'm used to. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, a little bit of a burn there. So it's going to be a little hairy once I get over to this area. But the theory is pretty simple. You just point yourself retrograde, keep yourself pointed retrograde, fire your engines. This will start to rise up into the sky. I'm upside down right now, so it actually might be something to fix. It's a little bit easier maybe to do controls when you know which way is up. So that's retrograde's going to come up as my forward velocity starts to fall away, and then the only force is gravity pulling me down. So it's going to retrograde's going to start to head up as I go down. And that's good. Ideally, you want to be coming in with your retrograde pointing straight up in the air, and you pointing straight up in the air as well. And what you can do, you don't want any lateral velocity when you're landing. You can handle a little bit, but the less the better. And it's better to try to kill it off early than try to kill it off just as you're heading towards the ground. It's easier to kill it off, I guess, pointing the ship in the direction earlier on than to use your RCS as you're coming down. If you saw my orbital rendezvous video a couple videos back, I did a lot of, which button on the RCS, and that's not really what you want. So let's just head on over. We're at about 16, 17. Let's say right about now is good to finish this off. Oop, turn that down. Oh, getting a little bit of lag there. You want to be pretty precise with this too, the direction that you face. So the PE is now below. And what this is doing is, if I were to let it go, I would hit ground somewhere around where this is pointing. Of course, I want to hit ground around here. Still going awfully fast. This is going to be fun part later when I have to go full speed ahead to slow down. So I want to overshoot it a bit. Can't see it yet. Another problem with coming in low. But I am going to turn south and just point myself slightly south while it's a little slightly efficient. That's probably good. Back to retrograde. Oh, and I think we can see the target. Looks like we're pretty close, aim-wise. As I might have mentioned early on in the videos, this is the current week's Reddit challenge, although now it's Thursday night for me, so it's going to be last week's challenge by the time this gets uploaded. Getting very laggy with fraps here. I'm just going to shut it down for a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, a bit of a change of plan. Kerbal Space Program has F9 bound to the quick save, or load quick save, and so does fraps for start and stop movie recording. So somehow while I stopped there, I loaded my quick save, which had me back in orbit. So I have just tried to get back I was going to try to get back to a similar spot and similar place, and maybe, there wouldn't have been any difference and no one would have noticed, but something went weird with my orbital insertion, and it's an interesting one. Instead of coming up and zipping around, I think I might have burned a little bit too long, and I'm going to crash into the moon if I keep going. But interestingly, I'm going to crash into the moon pretty close to where I want to be anyway, so I might be able to just convert that into landing where I want. This is the hope anyway. So I'm going to be coming in at quite a steep angle. Benefits of that are not as much lateral velocity to kill off. I'm already pretty close. Negatives are, I don't think this is necessarily an efficient way to do it. I could be wrong. Somehow I have slightly less fuel as well. 360 liters. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. Let's see, do I want to start... If I start killing some lateral velocity now, what happens? Or if I start killing any velocity now. I kind of want to bring it up a little bit this way. It's a little closer, I think, to what I want. No, I may want it a little further south. You can see if I look this way now, I'm pointing just slightly down. Okay. Nothing to do now, but accelerate on in. Now with how many, burn a little bit of fuel there. I have to kill a lot of velocity. 400 some meters per second now isn't much. It'll probably be closer to 800 meters per second by the time I get close to the surface. Where is it that I'm heading here? Okay, it is that. Yeah, okay, it is that one over there. It's just a little scary is all. So we're heading up there. It doesn't look like we're heading that direction. Ah, see, it's changing, and I will have to kill off some lateral velocity. Oh, don't like these autosaves or whatever those are. Okay. Here's the target. Looks like we're a little short. Oops, wrong button. Wrong button. I'm just going to try to boost that up a bit. And again, I want to head a little bit more south, so why don't I do both at the same time? Because what could go wrong? Okay. Gonna orient ourselves here again. I think I'm still short. This is wasting a lot of fuel. Maybe this is one of the reasons why this isn't the most efficient way of doing things. See, I'm killing my velocity, but I'm not killing my horizontal velocities that I want. I want to go a little further. All sorts of weird things going on with the conic in the background. It doesn't know that we're landing. Okay. Now I'm just coming in really fast, so we gotta go full on here. Oh, no, this is not going to go well. On the plus side, my aim was pretty good. Oh boy. Well, within sight. There's a lesson there. That is not the way to do a landing. Alright, I'll meet you back at the VAB. I'm going to end this video now, just because the next one's going to be a little bit longer after I do get back to the VAB and do some retooling. So thanks for watching. My name is Martin, and see you soon.